So let's drill down on Aiyuk and CeeDee Lamb a little deeper. What is the holdup? Do they want more than Justin Jefferson? Do they want to be paid the highest at their position?
I don't think it's that. I think it's more where the market was and where the market is now. And I don't think now CeeDee Lamb might have a little bit more of an argument. He went for 1,700 yards last year and 12 touchdowns. But I think those guys in an honest moment would tell you what Jefferson's done is historic. And we've been really good players, but yes, that guy deserves to be the highest paid receiver in football. But that also affects how they're going to be paid, whether you want to pay more or less.
Right.
It's if you're the agent for CeeDee Lamb, if you're the agent for Brandon Aiyuk, you're going to say, look, the market changed, and we may not be asking you to pay us 35, but you're not going to get away with paying us 28. The way Waddle got paid, the way Smith got paid, the way St. Brown and Collins got paid, right? They're right in that range. Well, I'm not great at math, but 80% of Jefferson's deal. Do you think Aiyuk or Lamb are going to go for 80% of what Justin Jefferson got? Do you think those prideful guys are going to say?
I think there's probably some people out there who are looking at Aiyuk and not putting him in the same category as Lamb. I think you could do that. So, because I have some numbers here. I don't know how I'm going to find them here on my phone, but
here's what I would say about Aiyuk, though.
Yeah,
I would tell you, and I think I've said this to you before. I think if you ask people in the Niners organization who they would rather keep long term, Brandon Aiyuk or Deebo Samuel, I think it would be 10 out of 10. Brandon Aiyuk.
No kidding.
And I think when you look at that, plus the fact that George Kittle's older, plus the fact that Christian McCaffrey's older, plus the fact that you've got this young quarterback who you're going to pay, who you're going to want to invest in, I think it is a priority for them to get Aiyuk done. And I know the numbers don't reflect it, but you have to think about the circumstances he's in too. Who was the number 2 guy for the Cowboys last year?
I mean, obviously it's what Cooks. You'd say it was him. Right. No, I understand. There's a big step. The next step's a Lulu.
The numbers, just the number, Brandon Ayuk's numbers by definition aren't going to be what some of these other guys are because Kittle and McCaffrey and Deebo, and so.
But in terms of Lamb, here I found the number from NFL Network research. Most receptions in the first 4 seasons of a career in the history of the National Football League. Justin Jefferson is 4th. With 392, CeeDee Lamb, 395. He's 3rd.
Right.
So he has at least some metric to put on the table
to say I should be paid that way.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: if you are him, right, you've been eligible for a deal for a year now. Same way Justin Jefferson was, right?
Yes,
you
sir.
took on the extra year of injury risk.
Yep.
You waited, right? You didn't take what they were offering in March or April. And the benefit to that is the market could change.
And you played all 17, which Jefferson did not.
Right.
And the Vikings off of that season where Jefferson did not paid him. And Lamb, I mean, his numbers last season.
It almost caught me about when I looked back at it, this was a few months ago.
Dude. And
I was doing something on that. And I looked, I'm like, God, I didn't realize 1750.
1749.
Right.
Rounding up is very, very accurate. 135 receptions. I mean, that's the most in both of those categories in the history of the Dallas Cowboys.
The franchise of Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin.
Yeah, the other 88s. He's an 88 clubber of for sure. The receptions ranked 1st in the NFL, receiving yards 2nd,
right,
and receiving touchdowns 12, ranked 3rd. So
now if you're the Cowboys,
that's your walk. That's your resume that you go in and walk in. That's why he's working out in Houston right now and didn't hop the flight to Oxnard.
Right, and that's where. Again, those numbers, they tried to strengthen the holdout rules by making the fines more expensive, right?
No.
But now when the salaries start to escalate, well, now that becomes less relevant, right? A couple million, I lose a couple $1 million to get 35 guaranteed, 35 million a year,
yes,
plus a huge guarantee. It's worth doing that, So, and I think what's interesting too, again, how these things tie into each other. You think say CeeDee Lamb signs next week. You think Micah Parsons is taking a dime less?
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.